Okay, come on.
Snuggle down in as you had before. Snuggle deep into the cloud. You can wrap it around you if you wish. Just kind of become one with the cloud. Let me know when you're comfortable on the cloud.
Yeah, it's nice here. Yeah, it's nice here.
A little better for you there?
Yeah.
I want Mark to just relax on the cloud while I speak to Mark's subconscious. May I speak to Mark's subconscious, please?
Yes.
So I have permission to speak with Mark's subconscious?
Yes.
Because I respect the power of the subconscious, and I know the subconscious takes care of Mark's body and does a very good job of it. I also know the subconscious has the records of everything that's ever happened to Mark in this lifetime and all the other lifetimes he's ever lived. So I respect the power of the subconscious, and I always ask for permission to speak to it and ask questions. So, again, may I have permission to ask questions?
Yes, you may have permission to ask questions of Mark's unconscious.
Well, I know the subconscious could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Mark to see today, and we were shown a couple of existences. One, that existence with him in the robe, and then he became part of the tree with others and traveled with the tree. And why was that lifetime shown to Mark? Why was that shown to Mark, his existence as that robed being, probably without gender, and then becoming part of the tree?
Because Mark needs to feel a connection. Because he feels lost. Because he feels ugly.
Well, why? What about that lifetime that was shown is important for us to sort of translate into this lifetime? How is that lifetime important relative to this one? What were we shown in that lifetime that we need to correlate into this one?
That Mark is not alone, that he is connected.
Good. Sometimes Mark doesn't feel very connected, though, does he?
No, he doesn't feel he's just all alone.
And was he connected to, for instance, that tree in that lifetime?
Oh, yeah.
He seemed to feel very much a part of it. Yeah. What is it that Mark needs to feel connected to in this lifetime? To what exactly does he need to connect? He mentioned the earth. He mentioned that he feels disconnected from others. What is this connection that Mark needs to make?
With the energy underneath him.
Okay. And energy underneath him meaning what? Mother Earth? The energy of the earth?
No. And he has energy keeping him on the ground. And that energy is in the ground.
And he's to connect to that energy?
Yes.
Are there other names for that energy that that we could use or that we do use?
Another name for the energy?
Yeah. Is there a name for that energy?
A name?
Sometimes energy is called prana or chi or life force.
Oh.
Or is it different from these? It's a different kind of energy.
It's hard to say, I think.
There might not be a name. It doesn't matter.
I don't think I fully understand the question.
No, it's okay. He needs to connect with some energy.
Yes, the energy below him.
Right. And what is it about that energy that he needs to connect with? Why would that be beneficial to him?
To bring him to this time so that he is all together in this time. So all his thoughts are here and not someplace else.
This time meaning?
Right now.
Okay. Because is Mark elsewhere most of the time? Does he feel like he's somewhere else?
All the time.
Okay.
He travels, he's being traveled, he's being shown things all the time, and it never stops. And he never gets a chance to stop and just be Mark.
And right. And who am I conversing with now? Am I conversing with Mark's subconscious, or his oversoul, or his higher self? Who am I conversing with now through Mark?
Just his unconscious, just what's been here all this time.
Okay. Why were we shown that second lifetime, the being, the creature that scared Mark initially? Why was that being / creature shown to Mark?
Well, it's because what we used to be, I think. We all feel at times when we get pulled different places, we lose our understanding of ourselves. We lose our ability to sense what we are.
Okay, and once he became acclimated, he didn't seem to be afraid anymore.
No, he was quite comfortable in there. He was quite comfortable with everything about the situation.
Well, in the beginning, he was a little intimidated.
Well, yeah, it's not something you see every day.
Right. Yeah, he was a little scared, right.
Oh, boy.
But there wasn't so much to be afraid of, I guess.
Yeah.
The looks threw him off.
Well, yeah, not something I was expecting.
Was that a loving creature?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that Mark wasn't able to recognize initially.
Not at first. It was quite a shock.
Right.
You're looking down for your feet. You're looking to see feet.
May I ask some other questions of the subconscious, please? Because Mark has a lot of questions.
Yes, he does.
Okay, and again, is Mark on the cloud relaxing?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm relaxing.
And at the count of 3, Mark on the cloud will be twice as deep as he is now. At the count of 3, twice as deep on the cloud. 1, 2, 3. Mark's just relaxing on the cloud while Bill speaks to his subconscious. May I continue with some other questions?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, Mark has some issues about his childhood. He felt that at age, I believe it was 7, he was taken out of his body. Did that actually, in fact, happen? Was Mark's body taken somewhere else?
Yes.
Okay. And may we ask, where was the body taken?
To their home.
To home?
To their home.
Okay. And may we ask, who were these beings? I believe they were 8 hooded beings. Who were these beings who Mark believes took his body? Would they have a name?
Watchers.
Say that again.
Watchers.
Spell that for me.
WATCHERS.
And where's their home? At the count of 3.
Everywhere. They fly everywhere. They go anywhere. They fly in space. They're in ships.
Where did they take Mark's body?
And it's in their ship with them right now.
Okay. And where is their ship from? Any particular place?
It originated from inside the moon. That's where it was built.
Okay. Mark was concerned that he was separated from his higher self. Is it even possible for us to be truly separated from our higher self?
No, I don't. No. Oh, well, but yes, yes, you can. It can be separated. Other people can separate you from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, definitely.
And is that a permanent condition, or is that something that's just temporary?
Well, it depends on the person. Some people can make it permanent and live that way, or they can say, no, I'm going to change it, and they change it. It's up to each individual, I believe.
So did Mark's higher self allow for these beings to take that body?
Well, yeah, oh, yeah, well,
Was that an experience Mark was supposed to be separated from his body, his consciousness
no, it was a
separated?
oh, yeah.
Was Mark's consciousness separated from his body at age 7?
Yes.
Okay. And how long did that last for?
For Mark, it was thousands and thousands of
Seemed
lifetimes.
like a long time.
Mark lived thousands of lifetimes and then was just sent back, and all those lifetimes just disappeared from his memory.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much there for him to take. You can't understand all that. There's just...
Well, that's what we're actually trying to do today.
Mm.
Mark feels a little bit separated, so I'm asking the subconscious, how is it that we can get Mark connected? We spoke of intention, and the power of intention. We spoke of the power of love. And so we're wondering, how is it that Mark would be able to connect himself once again, or connect his oversoul, his higher self, the Holy Spirit with him? It's got all these names, this consciousness.
Yes.
How is it that we can get Mark to connect that consciousness once again with this body that he's presently is his? Is there any way that Mark can regain once again that feeling that he had as being one with his body, belonging in it?
When he gets it back.
Okay. And can that be done through intention?
No.
Well, Mark feels that he's able to do quite a bit with intention. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. A lot that can be done with intention.
Wouldn't almost anything be possible with intention?
No, there are limits.
Well, who imposes those limits?
The limits are beyond us. We don't know our limits.
Yeah. I was under the impression that there were no limits.
Oh, there are limits. There are quite the limits, and each of us are put into little places and fit nice and neatly because there are other wills at stake. Other wills at stake.
Which world is at stake?
Other wills.
Oh, other wills.
Other wills are controlling.
So that's interesting because I'm wondering, there is willpower, and that's more forceful when we try to force, say, our will on another, whereas love doesn't generally work by way of force. Love is more of a power, and that's my understanding. And my understanding is that love is a power, the soul power, and it's stronger than any individual's will that exists, because we're all a function of that power that's love. We are created of it. So a will...
Well, that mind likes things in order, and the world is not in order.
What likes order?
The mind.
Yes, the mind does.
And the world is not in order. The world is random, and the world surprises itself.
Well, I don't doubt that. It certainly surprises its inhabitants, doesn't it? Yeah.
Certainly surprises me every day. Certainly surprises me every day. So what can Mark do to feel more connected is what you're trying to get to me,
That's
right?
what we're trying
Yeah.
to do, is to find out how Mark can become a little bit more connected. Is this something that he can do for himself? Or is he simply sort of thrown at the mercy of everyone else's will?
Yeah, he is. He's going to have to roll with the punches until the time comes when he gets his body back.
Well,
he thinks he has another body that's living and
somewhere
alive and
else.
another heartbeat.
Well, actually,
that may be, in his mind somewhere.
Well, that's interesting because I was going to address that. Because he was scared at a body that he saw earlier, and that was the body of that creature / being, but he found out that the looks were a little bit deceiving. And that would just be one body or one existence of possibly an infinite number. And maybe I'm suggesting, are all of those bodies really ours, or are we really just consciousness that borrows these bodies?
Yeah, we are. We borrow.
So really, we're more consciousness than we are a body. Is that true?
Yes.
Well, if we are all just consciousness, and we're not a body, or we're not a name, or we're not a title, or we're not a specific emotion or intellect, we're just consciousness, then aren't we just really kind of dressing ourselves in various bodies and various emotions temporarily?
Absolutely. That's that's an accurate description of
what I'm asking
today's reality.
is does it make sense for Mark to sort of chain himself to this idea of waiting for another body when he's in this one? His consciousness is in this body, is that correct? This present body that he walked in here today in?
Part of it is.
Okay. So we're not saying all of his consciousness is here, present here, correct?
Correct.
But he is conscious that he is in this body.
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible that by way of intent, he can kind of coalesce with these other aspects of himself that he feels are missing? Is it possible to draw our consciousness together from other existences, other lifetimes, other bodies?
Yes, it's possible.
Yeah, because I'm under the impression that that is a possibility, and that with intent and with loving intent, that's a power greater than any one being's will, or even greater than the will of several beings. Am I correct in assuming that, or is that an incorrect assumption?
Well, I think it's where your thinking has led you to this point, and it's not a bad place. I don't think. I think you have a few questions of your own that you're mulling, but quietly, and I believe that everyone has that one little grain of salt sitting there waiting to just to turn the sweet down just a little bit, because it just sounds just too good. Let me just get the good stuff. Don't give me the fluff. Give me the good stuff. So I think you're close to the good stuff. You don't want the fluff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would call the good stuff the truth.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm looking for. I think Mark's looking for that too. He's looking for the truth of his existence, or at least this existence. Would that be safe to say?
Yes.
Well, we're looking for something to Mark to work on, to sort of ground himself with that energy that he feels is missing, to connect with that energy. So I suggested something before the session, and because I had a sense we were going that way. And so I'm asking, is this something that would be worth Mark's while to attempt, intending with love for that which he desires?
Of course, definitely. That's a good way to...
Okay. So now what I'm asking is, has Mark done that to a significant degree?
Not on himself, no, not by his... He hasn't really focused because he's been
Well,
too distracted because of all the...
well, that's what I'm getting
He's-
at. There's confusion with what's happened to him.
Well,
Correct?
he's drawn to the date, and his whole life now is on that date.
Should his whole life be on that date? Is that what he should sort of structure his life about? I mean,
Well,
the date will come and go.
No, the date won't come and go.
What will it do?
That date will change time for all of time.
Well, that's suggesting an event might happen at that date.
No, there's not going to might about it.
Okay.
It's the only thing he knows for certain. Out of all the things he knows,
Okay.
he knows one thing.
And if
And
he
he
knows...
was led to that one thing.
Okay. And if he knows that, and that's fine, should that dictate the rest of his present life until that point in time?
Well, in order to get the people that want to be there, he must be very diligent and must be...
Is Mark taking on that entire responsibility to get a certain number of people there? Is that up to Mark and his consciousness? Is that what he's to do? Because that sounds like a pretty big chore to me.
Well, that's why he gets down on himself. That's why he gets frustrated, because it is such a...
It's almost daunting. It's overwhelming.
Well, to you, yes, it's daunting.
It is. Mm-hmm.
But it's not really. It's what he was designed to do.
And that may be what he does. I would not argue that for 1 second. Not here to make an argument.
I understand that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here to find the truth. So it may be his mission, correct?
Yes, to him, that he thinks that's his mission.
Okay, so taking that as the mission, I have trouble seeing that if that's the mission, and that's what's to unfold, I see that as something that's divine and that will happen probably even better if it happens without worry or negativity or fear. And if all of that can be dropped, won't the mission sort of unfold by itself without effort and worry and confusion?
And put that way, absolutely.
So what I'm getting at is, if this is to unfold and it's his mission, would it be wise for Mark to just sort of accept that it's the mission and it will unfold with help? With maybe
Yes.
divine help? Just to will it by oneself, I'm not sure we can will that. I see the power of love as being greater.
Oh, definitely. The power of love is great, but the power of love needs a...
Intention is what I think it needs.
it needs... yes. Yes. No, go ahead. Now I'll regroup here a second. Go ahead.
My thought is that intention with the power of love will allow what it is that any one of us desire to sooner or later unfold. There's no other effort involved. It's not about the work. It's about the deep feeling of intent, the loving feeling of intent, knowing that it will unfold. The power of love itself is what allows it to unfold. There's no work involved. There's no pressure involved. Just feeling an authentic feeling of intent with authentic love or desire for that to unfold is all that's necessary.
Yes.
Well, I'm not looking for outright acceptance of my idea, but I'm suggesting
Yes. I know you're suggesting what Mark can do to feel more connected.
And so I'm asking if that makes sense, and I'm asking Mark's subconscious if that makes sense, what I'm suggesting. Or
It makes sense to you in the context that you're asking it, because it's where your unconscious is, because you're talking from your unconscious to Mark's unconscious. In a sense, and there's still a there's still a place that Mark is too afraid to go.
where is it that Mark's afraid to go?
Into his truth.
Why is Mark afraid to go into his truth?
Well, because it's not what he wants.
Does Mark want the truth?
He's forced. He's not. Mark is just following directions. He's just doing what he's told. It's all he's ever done.
What's he doing? What's lately is he being told? Especially, what is he being told that he might not want to do?
Wake people up. He just wants to be where he is. He doesn't want to be waking people up.
How is he being instructed to wake people up?
By following love and getting into the hearts of people and being personable with people and getting people to believe him.
And is he able to do that?
So far, he's got a few people on Facebook, but other than that, he hasn't changed anything. He hasn't changed the world, but he's about to, and he's very afraid of that fact. Because
why is he afraid of getting through to people? Why is he afraid of that fact?
Because he's going to change. People.
Will it be changing in some negative way?
No.
So where's the fear come in?
He's never had it before.
Never had what before?
All that attention.
Well, isn't that something that he can be concerned about when it unfolds? I mean, to have fear of it now seems like wasted effort to me because it's not here yet.
That's true. He just one guy asked him if he should worship him now, and he doesn't believe in worship, and he just when somebody says something to him like that, it just bothers him, and it's just, if one person says it, somebody else is going to say it, and then he's just afraid he's going to lose everybody. He's going to be alone again.
Is it necessary for Mark to have a following, or to just feel compassion toward people as
He doesn't want people to follow him. He doesn't want people to follow.
I don't get that impression either.
He just wants people to be happy and be able to understand things and be able to express the things that they want and to be able to. The thing is, there are things that people have inside themselves that they don't even know they have. Mark is trying to show them things that they have.
Are we talking about powers or abilities that they have inside themselves?
Yes. And he's
Isn't that
discovering things about himself
right
now. He has abilities now that he's afraid of.
Why is Mark afraid of the abilities that he's finding within himself? Has he hurt anyone with them?
Whenever he gets the power, people die.
People die?
People die.
Okay, and he hasn't expressed that to me that I know of. Who is he affected in such a way that they've died?
Oh, well, it goes back.
Okay.
It goes back a long time.
Okay, I'm listening. Has anyone died recently?
In Mark's life, no.
Okay, but Mark was suggesting that people might die as a function of his, waking up,
Well,
his powers.
I'm seeing through the eyes of Mr. Lincoln, in a sense. I'm seeing all 650,000 dead young men.
Of
Arms off, legs off.
Of the Civil War.
Yeah.
Okay.
And him just seeing all those dead. It just weighs heavy on his mind.
Would Mr. Lincoln like to leave Mark's body?
Would Mr. Lincoln like to leave Mark's body?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Lincoln likes it in here.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Lincoln likes it a lot because he's living again. He's seeing again, and he's showing Mark what made the country. Showing Mark the importance of the people and who died for the country.
Yeah, but maybe that's more than Mark can handle.
It is. Mark can't handle it.
Yeah.
Mark's a mess.
Yeah.
He's a total mess.
What about Mark's subconscious? Would Mark's subconscious like Mr. Lincoln to find another home?
Mark's subconscious is already separated into many different compartments.
But would Mark's subconscious prefer that Mr. Lincoln find
No,
another?
Mark's subconscious is Mark's subconscious is not his own.
And can we consider Mr. Lincoln an entity within Mark?
Mm-hmm.
How many entities are within Mark right now?
More than he knows. He knows a couple. He knows his entity Seth and Zoroaster he believes to be now, because the connection goes back further. Just because no one else could see it farther doesn't mean that it does go farther. It does, and it probably goes farther than that. But his memory hasn't reached that part yet, and this is Mark's desire. His desire, he wants to reach into the memory and bring the memory to life so that everyone can see that memories are alive. This is what Mark wants. He wants to bring the memory to life and show the people that their memories, what they were before, still exist now.
Yeah, I don't think anything actually, any energy doesn't disappear, and consciousness being an energy of sorts just doesn't disappear. It perpetually exists.
That's one way to look at it, yeah.
Right, but is it for Mark to teach the world this fact, or is it for them to find it on their own in bits and pieces from this person and that, from this book and that?
Well, unfortunately for Mark, he's been designed for this. This is his job.
Who designed Mark for that?
Well, we did.
Who's we?
Us, the watchers. The ones that are there, the ones that are out there.
Well, you're saying us, so is that who's speaking to me right now, the watchers?
In a matter of speaking, I guess.
And what planet or place are you from? That can't be told?
Well, it's...
Are watchers also called trackers? Or no? That it's some different type of person, being?
Oh, Mark's still on the other question still.
Okay, finish the other one.
Yeah, he's still on the other question. Uh, yeah. Can you...
Is it Mark's responsibility to teach the multitudes just because the watchers would like him to? Is he given too big of a task?
Uh, well, not really. He's just... nothing's easy, and some people have a hard time, some people have an easy time, some people do it on their own, some people forget about it, but he's taken this... not unfamiliar with this mission. He's had this mission before.
He's done something like this before?
Oh, yeah.
And where was that? And when was that?
Well, it's not something that I can understand right now. I don't think he understands much. He thinks he understands, but he doesn't.
Right, but you understand. The watchers can tell me.
Well,
Has he done this before?
yes, he's done this before. And he was quite successful. So that's why we thought it would be...
Well, won't he find with success, meet with success this time?
Yes.
Well, then why the pressure? If he gets through to people, he gets through, and time may allow for him to get through to a greater degree later. Is that not true?
Oh, he's got plenty of time. There's going to be lots of things. He's predicted things.
Right. In the meantime, Mark would like to feel better. He'd like to be more connected.
Yes, he would.
He'd like to be experiencing love, both giving it and receiving it.
Yes. It's going to be hard for him without being connected to the part of himself that we have. And we need that to stay connected to humanity, so that we don't lose our connection to humanity. We are holding that part of him so that he can lead the rest of them to us.
And what would the rest of them who would be led to you? What is their what happens to them?
Well, people are looking for their euphoria.
And you would present people with a euphoria?
I would give them the opportunity to see it or not to see it. But they would be given that opportunity.
So Mark would be giving them this opportunity.
He would be allowing them, he would be showing them and presenting them and showing them that they do have an opportunity. He can't force them to take anything. He's not going to force anyone. He's just going to present an opportunity that has...
Right. Well, wouldn't Mark be able to do this better if he was allowed to be connected with this part of him that's missing? So if you're keeping this part of him from him that's missing, then Mark can't function in a very good manner, can he?
He's doing okay.
Well, he's here because he feels disconnected. So he might be doing okay, but he's not entirely happy because he's here because he feels disconnected. Is there any way that you can help him to feel or reconnect him so that he can function in a more balanced way? In a way that's more in balance, more in harmony? Can that be done?
I think we will have to do that. It seems like we missed something.
Well, how can that be done for Mark now?
Oh, good question.
Well,
Good question.
I'm asking those of you
Yes.
who you're suggesting have taken this part of Mark away. So if you took it away, I'm sure you could return it. Is that true?
Well, it'll be returned at the precise date and time. As
I'm sorry?
it's going to be, yes, he's going to get some of it back. He's going to get his,
Can this work through intent on Mark's part? Can he help move this process along by way of loving intention to become whole, in harmony and balance once again?
it's possible, I guess.
Well, hasn't Mrs. McTaggart proven that if we intend with loving intent, we can do almost anything?
Oh, that's true. It's absolutely true. Yes.
Well, then would not that be something for Mark to attempt?
Well, it would make, it's obvious, sense that he would intend love for himself.
And to be whole again.
And to be whole again, and this is something that he wishes for every single day.
And
it's just that he can't feel it because he is in another vehicle, and his other vehicle is with us, and the feeling vehicle is with us. And we control that feeling vehicle. And we are holding it, and we are in control of it.
And you're suggesting you will not let it go?
No, you can't let it go. And he will get it back when the time comes. And he will be rewarded for doing his duty.
How will he be rewarded?
He'll be rewarded by getting his body back. And being able to relive his life again.
And is that something he can expect in the near future?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And is it worth his while and effort to feel...
What he's going through right now is hell. Mm-hmm. And the more hell you go through, the better you're heaven. Everyone feels that way. After you cry and you start laughing, you have the best laugh after your best cry. It's also a endorphin thing too.
Yeah. I'm trying to help Mark live this life presently with a little bit more comfort.
Your intentions are fantastic, and I applaud them. And Mark couldn't find a better place to be at this time.
Yeah, but if we're not achieving this connection, then there's still something missing.
Well, we're close. We're close. My Mark still has so much fear, even though he walks around like he's fearless.
Is he afraid of connecting with this other aspect of himself? Or is it simply being kept out of his reach?
It is a desire that has been inside him for over 50 years. And when you want something for 50 years and you don't get something for 50 years, it does something to you.
Right.
And he just have to be patient.
Anything else that Mark needs to know that Bill could not possibly express to Mark right now? What does Mark need to know that I would have no idea what to say to him?
That's an excellent question. That's the best question Mark has ever been asked. What does Mark... Could you repeat that again? I liked it.
What does Mark need to know that I could not afford him, that no doctor could afford him, that will give him peace of mind, that will allow him to lead his life in some degree of harmony and balance, in spite of the overwhelming expectations that he feels are incumbent upon him.
Yes, he does feel the world on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And yes, for a lot of people it might seem like a very childish thing. And he feels like it too, and sometimes he wants to escape and get out from under it. But he's duty bound. He is committed. He has been searching for this his whole life.
Is this a duty that he wants?
No, this is not up to him. This is something that...
Well, isn't this being imposed upon him then against his will?
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. Then I have a sense that he can get around that, can't he?
That would be a trick. That would be a trick.
Is there anything greater than the power of who we refer to as the One? Is there anything greater than the power of the One?
Well, in your terms, no. Okay, in his terms, there's the power of the many. And the power of the many are what he draws on for his support, because he knows the power of the many are there.
And who are the many? Are these many creators?
No, the many that live, where we were when we first were like consciousness, before we had a body. We were all there. Some of us don't even, we don't recognize we're there. We just come from a place. We don't know how we came there. All of a sudden, boom, we're in a body, and boom, we're alive.
Yeah, but aren't the many a function of the One too? They have to come from somewhere, and we all come from the same place, correct?
No. No, we do not all come from the same place. We're all life created from different aspects and desires of life. There are many divisions of desire.
Yeah, my impression is, of course, it's just my impression that there's the soul power is the One, the soul creator is the One, and everything else is a function of that One.
Right, you have a structure, you have a belief structure, and
Right.
and you have something at the top.
It's at the top and all around and within and
But it's
outside
still
of
at
everything.
the top. It's not something that's...
But that puts all of us at the top.
It doesn't put you next to you in your hand.
Oh, it's there and it's within as well.
Okay. Excellent. That is it.
There's no escaping it.
I see how you're seeing that. That's
it's
excellent.
everything.
Yes.
And so everything is then a function of...
But you see everything into one,
Right.
rather than seeing everything into many.
Exactly. The many that exists now is a function of the One, is how I see it. And that One...
No, the many make the one.
The One is comprised of the many. But they're all aspects of the One.
No.
That's...
Well, it's an argument. It's an argument, for sure. And it's a...
I don't know if it's an argument so much as it's hard to just differentiate one's thinking or express it clearly.
Well, it all depends on how many you have seen. Each of us have seen different things. And Mark has seen more than his share. He's seen things that don't exist anymore in your lifetime and will never exist again. But he's seen them, he experienced them, and he misses them. And he longs for things that other people don't long for.
And what is he longing for that other people don't long for?
the connection that he's lost, that everyone else has. Everyone has a connection with their world. Everyone feels like he feels a connection here and there once in a while. He doesn't feel it every day because we have this connection because we are trying to connect with humans. And trying to connect with humans is the most difficult of tasks.
Why are you trying to connect with humans?
Because they want us to. We want to help them to be stronger and more...
Is Mark a watcher himself?
Uh,
Or is he just being co-opted by the watchers to do their
yeah.
dealings?
Well, it's not just them. It was a big effort, I think, and it was, somebody had to do it. It had to be done. Somebody had to do it.
Somebody had to
be
do
chosen.
what?
What had to be done is what is happening. And what is happening is the world is moving towards what a lot of people, minds of the world right now, people who are becoming what they call becoming awake, becoming aware that there is, and there's talk of evolving.
Are the watchers afraid of humanity becoming awake?
Oh no! They're this is what they're attempting to do.
Right, but aren't they co-opting Mark and his life by doing it through Mark? They're expecting Mark to do all of this, and it's against his will.
Well, it's because of the trouble that in communicating with human minds. Human minds cannot accept certain things. Human minds have an idea of reality. And that idea is very, very fragile. And you alter that idea just a little bit, and everything changes drastically. So it's been a very delicate matter for, in your terms, thousands of years.
Do the watchers have love for Mark? I'm sorry.
Oh, very, very dear. He's very well taken care of here.
Well, he's pretty uncomfortable in this.
It's because he's separated, and he has to be.
Why does he have to be separated to?
Because we have to find the bridge between us and you. And this is what we did to make the bridge.
So you've taken some aspect of Mark to make a bridge.
Yes.
What are you doing with that aspect?
Trying to find a way to make it work. To find a way to
I'd like you to find a way to make Bill understand what it is you're trying to do through Mark, and that would help.
Okay. Well, humanity wants to move forward. And humanity right now is not. And the earth is changing faster than man is. And man is not changing as fast as the earth
So what
is.
happens if man doesn't change fast? What will happen to humanity? What's the concern?
Well, it'll destroy itself.
I was under the impression that energy can't destroy itself.
Well, not destroy itself in a literal sense. Destroy itself in a destructive sense, where it'll have just a non-productive society. Basically, we're just entities living here in different groups, and one of them going to kill them, and then them killing them.
Well, we've already got that. We've got that.
Yes, that's the whole thing.
Right.
That is still going on in the mentality of the human mind. human mind is still in the cave.
What are you doing with this other aspect of Mark that's going to correct the situation that humanity is in today? Why cannot he have that other aspect of himself?
Because when it comes back, then Mark will show, we will demonstrate that Mark is not just one, that he is actually, we have him up there with us. So we will bring him back. And then the part that we have of him now, that is in control now, that we control now,
What can you suggest to Mark right now that will put him at ease for the duration until he's reconnected?
good question.
What's he supposed to do with himself until he's connected? It's a fair question.
What you said is perfect. Allowing the love inside him, and that's all he can do until...
Well, I would ask this, should he focus on anything other than love at this point? Because all the rest of it is only bringing him anxiety.
Of course it brings him anxiety. It's not something that's...
Yeah, so we know that, so of course it does. So of course, if he focuses just on the love, then he might not have so much anxiety, correct?
Correct.
Well, maybe we should close on that note, which we're appreciative of. Because otherwise he's just left with a handful of the same stuff he's had for over 50 years. So maybe Miss McTaggart's got the answer for Mark, and focusing with loving intention for himself might be the best thing he could do. Could you answer that with a simple yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Because other than that, I don't see that we're being offered anything better. Is that true? He has to be patient, is what he's being told. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, he is impatient.
Well, I guess so. It's over 50 years.
Well, to us it's a lot longer, in a sense.
I would think it would be a lot shorter, there being no time where you are.
Well, Mark sees it the way, there's still part of him here in this voice. Mm-hmm. And that's what he sees.
Would you suggest there's anything else that we could do for Mark in another session? Or would we not be able to help him beyond this loving intention that we might discuss?
Well, let's see what he gets from this and go from there.
Okay. I want Mark to just relax on the cloud. Any final words for Mark that he might need?
He'll be okay.
He'll be okay?
He'll be okay. He'll be fine. He's stronger. Sometimes he cries like a baby.
I'm sorry?
Sometimes he cries like a baby.
Mm. And is there anything that Bill can do to better understand Mark or people who are in Mark's situation? Is there any reading I can do? Where would you direct Bill so that he might be able to help people like Mark in a more effective way?
Excellent question. Excellent question. I can't find any faults in anything that you have done.
No, I'm not asking about faults. There's plenty of faults.
Oh.
I'm looking for, is there anything I can do above and beyond the very little bit that I did?
No, you did more than a little, in Mark's opinion. And in my opinion. Our opinion. No, I guess not.
I want Mark to just relax. Mark's still on the cloud?
Oh yeah, I'm still having to cry.
Relax on the cloud. Just take a breather. Want to thank the subconscious for the answers it's given us, and to whoever else we were conversing with. We appreciate the effort. I'm asking the subconscious to recede to where it belongs and sending it with a great deal of love and thanks and gratitude.